good, y'all boys? I know it's been a minute again. I'd say like a whole month and a half. The last Babystaydown beat I made. Feel me? And I ain't posted since. So this is a preview or a snippet of how I'm. Damn. Excuse me, goddamn. It's a snippet or a preview of how I made After All by Babystaydown with Kamari. Alright, so we're just gonna get into the simple basics. The first things first. This is an old ass Luke Kamari sent me. This shit's probably from fucking 2022 type shit, right? My process and thought process in general of how I make beats are, I'm not gonna say strange because they're not strange at all. Everything I do is kind of simple. God damn, I'm gonna get a motherfucker to sit right. Everything I do is kind of simplistic. I mean, yeah, that's really the best way I can explain it. I don't really try to make things perfect or, you know. Anyways, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I don't know what I'm talking about. But we're gonna start with the mail. Alright, so again, this is an old Luke Morris sent me. It was at 130 BPM. I bumped up to 140. If you want to bump up your mails and not change the tempo or the pace of the melody when you first do it, you have to start in that tempo. So I had to start on 130. I started on 130, and all I did was, of course, trim it first. Always trim it first. Trim it first before you do anything. Trim it first. Remember that. Trim that bitch first. Alright. So all I did was trim it. After I trimmed it, typically it's always gonna be on resample, your mode. Change that to stretch. Now you can go stretch pro. I don't. I mean, honestly, I just think stretch works perfect. So I'll go stretch, and then with this, all I did was change the melody or the pitch. This is the normal pitch. And now the actual melody doesn't even sound like that, honestly, right? So this, I'm gonna show y'all the before and after of me putting effects on there and me not having effects on there. So that's the melody with effects, right? And this is without. Alright, so as you can see, without the effects, this fucking melody sounds completely fucking different, right? Like this is a whole new fucking beat, right? But the way I add my effects is I go for what I feel is more, I'm not even ambient per se, it's just more so like feels more space. A lot of people like to feel space in with drums. I don't. I feel like feeling too much space with drums just takes away from the overall beat in general, because when an artist hears a beat, they like the melody, okay? Artist is always gonna fuck with the 808 and the drums, of course, but what makes or break your beat is really the melody. If that melody ain't hitting no shit, your drums hard as fuck, they not gonna wanna fuck with it. And that you can see that commonly throughout the industry. That's just your general standpoint. Alright, so don't focus on, oh, I gotta have this hard ass 808, I gotta have this drum pattern go crazy, I gotta have the hi-hats bounce. No, you don't. Your melody come first, alright? Your melody comes first. Like, remember that. Your mail comes first. Nothing else, nothing more. Focus on your fucking melody, alright? So, this is the first thing I did in my mail. Of course, gotta shout out Portal. Portal's a fucking great plugin, alright? So if you want to upgrade your mail sounds in general and the way you really process your melodies, get Portal. I'm trying to tell you right now, this is the sauce. Alright, so I started with Portal, and just with Portal, this is how it came out. Now, to everybody else, that still may sound kind of wonky and wish-washy and just like, what the fuck is going on? But a motherfucker like me, I got a vision for this shit. So I instantly knew right after that, I wanted the beat to sound a little more ambient. Like, you feel me? I love the piano, I love the melody. And for Babystaydown, if you listen to Babystaydown a lot, you already know his melodies are always either ambient or they're to a point where you can feel how heavily he fucking with the melody, right? So I wanted this to be kind of something that filled that space in to where he didn't have to go do too much. He didn't have to overly compensate for the beat. Feel me? The beat was simplistic enough for him to hear it, and that ambient space to be void enough for him to sit here and be able to go over it. So, with that thought process in mind, I went with Initial Verse, which is also another good plugin. Shout out Initial Verse. As you can see, I have this one at 24%, and it's not. I don't have it that high. Trust me on this. Sometimes your plugins don't need to be at 100% every time. You can change your shit down to 29, fucking 15, 30, 50, whatever you want. But I go what sounds the best to me. So just with the Initial Verse on. Right, and even then that still sounds a little cluttered. It sounds kind of everywhere, right? Don't worry about it. We fixed that. The reason why, or the reason how I know to fix this is because hearing it, I figured if I slowed it down, then it would all fit into the same 4 bar. So right now it sounds like it's kind of like a 1/4. You know, the melody's kind of going back and forth, just very so often that it's kind of repetitive, but it doesn't really stick. So I slowed it down with a halftime to get it on that 4/4 track. Alright, and then of course you still got your mud in there, in which you don't want to have your melody too muddy, no matter if it has a bass or an 808 in it. You always want to kind of make it at least a little bit less muddy so you can add your 808. And the way I did that, of course, was with my EQ. As you see, I took all the lows out of this shit. Literally all the lows. Now, don't do this for every beat. Don't. But I took all the lows out of this motherfucker and I increased the highs so that way that you can hear the ambient parts of the vocal that's also inside this melody. So this is what it sounds like all together. Alright, so that sounds pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty simplistic, alright? Nothing too much, nothing too extra. Everything's just kind of calm and chill, alright? Now, if you look on my left-hand side, you probably can't see it that well because my camera's right here, but I have a fuck ton of kits, okay? It's like 60-some kits right here. Alright, don't worry about that. If y'all want a kit of my own, of drums that I use in here, all you gotta do is to get that motherfucker from Bang Toes here, bro. Baby X Pride. It's simple. But nah, I actually do have my own kit, which I do use kind of often. And if you guys do want sounds from that, make sure you guys comment down below. Feel me? I kind of go through, make a video soon about my own drum kit. I just don't promote this shit. But if you guys want my kit, it will be free. It's like a stash kit plus my own sounds. So if y'all want that, make sure you comment down below and let me know. Alright, but back onto the beat. This is the 808 pattern I kind of had in mind, right? Mind you, this is very simplistic. Like when I say simplistic, this is probably the most simplistic 808 pattern you'll ever hear, right? I didn't do anything extra. I didn't do anything too overly OD. I didn't try to make the hardest pattern something that can flow and be correspondent with every other drum, right? So here's the 808 pattern that we started with, or that we went with rather. As you see, very simplistic. I didn't do anything extra. I didn't go too crazy with it. I just kept it simple, right? Now that's the first 808 pattern. I added a second, like a small second part of the 808 pattern, which you'll hear whenever he posts the. Well, I'm not posting this until he drops the song, but I have a second 808 pattern that you'll slightly hear. You'll hear it change tempo, not tempo, but you'll hear the pacing kind of change a little bit because it's second 808. And I added this just to be more on some. That way it's not as repetitive, but it still gives that unique feeling of being able to find being able to find and create a pocket of your own. So, and which Babystaydown does a lot. So, alright, So you see how simplistic those, like, it's literally most simplistic fucking drums you'll ever hear, right? I kind of typically choose not to do a lot with my damn melody. I say my melody with my drums. Now there's some beats I do have that I go crazy on. Some beats I have that are just simplistic. Money, Guns, and Drugs, for example, I went crazy on just the overall melody, and the Kamori snapped the rest. You feel me? Again, that breakdown will be coming soon too. I just gotta get him to kind of give me the breakdown, and then I upload it all together. But so now it's time for the hi-hats, right? A lot of my homeboys dumb as hell. They say I'm something like the hi-hat guy. Everybody say that shit, right? But genuinely, I do understand what they be talking about, because my hi-hats do be sounding crazy, right? So the way I got this hi-hat sounding, matter of fact, just listen. Alright, so it's not too crazy. It sounds crazy. It do. It sounds high. It sounds loud as fuck too, but it's that loud because when it comes to that whole beat playing, the only thing I have playing for the hi-hat is the highs, right? So without it, it just sounds like this. Alright, so I added the Effectrix just to kind of give it more variety and more taste to it. Alright, and after that, I mean, honestly, the beat was already kind of done, and I was gonna leave it like that, but why not add the open hats, man? Why not give it more rhythm and flow? I feel like without a, like, you know, when you have beats where you're not adding a clap or a snare to keep it consistent, something like an open hat where you can still kind of have that same feeling and vibe of a snare being there or a clap being there, that helps keep tempo, can still get the same effect of basically rhythm, you know what I'm saying? Like, it helps keep, I feel like it'll help keep somebody on track of where the beat is starting and ending at either way. And I incorporated that with this beat right here. So these are my open hats. Which just sounds very repetitive, and I know it's gonna sound crazy because there's nothing else playing. But when I play all my drums together, this is how it sounds. That's the simple part. As you see, literally I didn't do too much to this beat, but I did enough to where I feel like it still had that ambient vibe to it, and it created a pocket for everything to flow together, right? And then after that, I just added this, I say added, but after that I made sure that everything within the melody lined up where I had the drums at. So all together this sounds like this. Honestly, that's really honestly it. Honestly, again, like, as you can see, I didn't really do too much. I didn't make it too crazy. I made it very simplistic, and I kept it sweet, short, and simple. That's just the way I rock. That's the way I wanted it to sound and the way I wanted it to feel. So now that you've heard all that, it's gonna be, I'm playing the first probably the first 4 bars, and then y'all can hear the rest of this shit on your own. I'll add a song at the end. So hope y'all boys enjoy it, man. It's your boy Okhoncho. And make sure y'all follow me on TikTok, Instagram. Fucking follow the Apple Music, the SoundCloud. I drop my songs, I drop other people's songs, anything produced by me. Y'all go check that out.
I need every beat you ever made in existence.
I mean, after all, you are the head honcho.
catch y'all boys on the next one. Y'all have fun.